Hey guys, I just watched an Only Use Me Blade commentary. And, he's old school. He tells stories over his stuff, and I like that a lot. So every so often I go back and I check up on the ones I missed. And he did this thing, and basically he was talking about when it's okay to hit girls. And the answer, in short, was never. And I saw Ronaldinho do, I guess he's Ron's gamertag now. He's mocking me. But I saw him do a commentary, and it basically said the same thing. And they came to this conclusion that, these girls can't possibly hurt you. They're not strong. And therefore, it's never okay to hit them. And I listen to these things, and while I, for the most part agree, have a story where I hit a girl in my past. And I've told this on Painkiller already back in like episode 3 or something. So if you've heard this before, you can click away. It's all good. But if you haven't, I thought I'd share it with you. So here we go. I'm 14 years old and I'm a freshman in high school. My high school combined a whole bunch of middle schools, or intermediate schools as they were called in my area. So a lot of people that went there were strangers to me, right? Like I knew maybe 1/3 of the kids in that class because the other 2/3 came from some other school. There was this girl, her name was Jen, and she was beautiful, right? You go to high school and there's that like one or two girls like where people debate whether they're the hottest girls like in your school. She was one of them, right? She was just flawless and pretty and in fit and all that stuff. And I mention it only because like it had a lot to do with like the power imbalance between the two of us. I was not like some sort of stud. As a matter of fact, I hit puberty late in high school. Like, I don't know when exactly, but like I was definitely smaller than a lot of the other guys. I didn't have leg hair. I didn't have like, I wasn't really a man yet. And I had like wide hips, and I still do, but now I have like, if you've ever seen me, I have like broader than normal shoulders. So my wide hips are no longer an issue. But the pre-puberty version of me, the wide hips were like a dominating feature, and I almost had that like curve that women do. So in freshman, we were in gym class together, and our gym class, you would run. That was the thing. There was a track about a block or two away from the school, and the freshmen would just run every day. There was no soccer, there was no nothing, but 5 days a week they just take you to the track and make you run. That was what freshmen did. So freshman, by the way, is the first year of high school if you're international, and it means you're about 14. So anyway, when we walked back from the track, she would be maybe 10 paces behind me every single day, tearing me apart, tearing me down. Mostly she said I was a fag, and I think it was because of the wide hips thing. Like, she'd just be like, look at Woody, he's such a fag, Woody's a fag, look at him, he's so feminine, he looks like a girl. She'd even do that thing, like, where you like put your hands in that hourglass shape to talk about a beautiful woman. She would do that to like about me, as she and her friends trailed behind. And her friends weren't really talking about me, although sometimes they'd laugh along. It was her. She just had like, I never did anything to her. Like you wouldn't pick on someone bigger and stronger than you. And if you're like new to a school and she's clearly like ruling this class, you wouldn't pick on her. And she was just dogging me every single day. So that started in September. And around December, I remember it was shortly before Christmas break, she was just still at it every day. And it was getting to be a problem. It wasn't like it was just her as a hater. I felt like she was a hate ringleader. Like, she was taking me down socially. And, I didn't know what to do about it. Like, I'm the guy that Jen picks on. And that was like this big issue for me. So, one time in December, I told her, talk like that could get you slapped. And then she leans into me. Oh my God, slap me. You're a pussy. You won't do it. Slap me. You're scared. I dare you to slap me. You're not man enough. Slap me. And I didn't do it. It just like, I was like, I don't know. This seems like a mistake. It's not good. It's like, I resisted the urge. And then the next day, instead of her just saying that I'm a fag or a pussy or, the things that she would say about me all the time, she added to it. she'd like, you're a faggot, you won't slap me. You're a pussy, you won't slap me. You're scared, you won't slap me. Stuff like that. And like, she's been dogging me for months now, from September to December. And like I said, she'd just walk behind me in this like 2-block walk from the track back to like, the school where we'd shower up and do whatever. But so this time I stop and I turn around and she continues walking toward me, right? Because I was in front of her. And I reach down, like with my hand by my knees across my body. And I like reel up and I backhand this girl in the face as hard as a backhand to the face can go. And she looks at me with this expression of horror. She immediately has like the red imprint of my 5 fingers across her cheek. She has been slapped. And how appropriate, mistakes were made. So that's how that went down. Like right on the spot was some other guy who was like bigger and stronger than me, than like everybody, because they had the benefit of testosterone. And that guy like grabbed my shirt and was kind of like roughish or anything, but I guess he didn't intend to fight or anything, because like nothing went from there. I just sort of stood there half limp, like, oh boy, here it is. I didn't realize it at the time, but she was dating the captain of the wrestling team, and he was a junior, which means he was 2 years older than me for international guys. And like there was no hope of me winning a fight against this guy. Like he's captain of the wrestling team. He's 2 years older. He knows how to fight. He's like it is going to be a lopsided affair. I was like, all right, I've got an ass kicking come my way, and you get what you get. You reap what you sow. There it is. And the first day after it happened, nothing. It just, nothing happened. Second day, same thing. Nothing ever went down, etc. And on the third day, I guess he realized that we had lunch at the same time. So in the cafeteria, there's like 300 people or so eating at once. And he comes over to where I'm sitting, and it's him with like an entourage of maybe like 4 guys flanked off either shoulder. And of course they're all upperclassmen, which means they're juniors and seniors, and a couple of them are from the wrestling team. And our wrestling team, when you pinned somebody, you got like it was like a big oversized gold safety pin that you'd put on your sleeve. And his sleeve is decorated from like shoulder to elbow, just filled with these like marks of guys whose asses he had kicked in competition before. And I saw this and I was just like, oh boy. And he comes up to me and he's like, are you Woody? And I said, yeah. And he said, did you slap my girlfriend? And I said, I'm sorry about that, man. And I think he had heard the entire story just as I told it, because I swear this is like fully true and not even biased. And he's like, I know how she is, man. Don't do that again. And I immediately accepted his terms. That seemed like a good deal to me. No more Jen slapping, and he would not do any Woody slapping. And this was, the best that I could have hoped for. In the end, Jen never talked about me again. I don't know if it was Tim, like kind of making it off limits. Tim was her boyfriend. Or if it was, the slap that woke her up or whatever. But I once hit a girl, and I kind of wish this was never on my record, but I kind of wish both sides of it never happened. I wish she hadn't picked on me for months. And there it is. The adult version of me doesn't really have any reason to slap a girl. It's not necessary. There's not a lot that they can do to me. But, young Woody, imperfect Woody, once did it. And, I just feel like it's on my personal record. And I feel like, a lot of the guys who say that you should never do this have never been pushed at a level that would inspire them to do it. So there it is. That's my hit a girl story. And, not everyone's going to agree with it, but not everyone's born perfect. That's how it went down. If you like the video, be sure to give it a like.